Okay, so in this video, what we're going to be looking at is compounding interest. And we talked about last time the compounding interest formula. It looked something like this. A equals P times 1 plus R over N to the NT, right? That's our compounding interest formula. We've seen this in 1010. We also used it last lesson, right? This P, this is the starting amount, right? That's how much you start with. This R, this is the interest rate. I'm just going to put rate, so it's the interest rate. N, which is the same here and here, right? Those are the same N. This is the number of times you're getting the interest every like year or so, right? So usually your time is in years, so it's the number of times, per year you're getting your interest. And then T is the number of years, okay? So that's our compounding interest formula for when you're compounding it n times a year, okay? Now I think we talked about this in 1010 as well, but the idea with E and how that shows up in interest is if you let n get really large in this, in other words, if you basically make the number of times that you're compounding the interest go to infinity, okay? So as n goes to infinity here, gets really big, basically you're dealing with continuously compounding interest, meaning that you're getting interest every moment of the day, okay? Continuously compounded. Can't spell right now. Okay, continuously compounded interest. The formula becomes, we still have A equals PE to the RT, okay? So it kind of transforms into this modified form. P is still the starting amount, okay? R is the interest rate. And T is still time in years, usually, okay? So that's your formula for continuously compounding interest. And so let's look at an example. Let me get one real fast here. Okay, so an example is, let's say you have $8,000, okay? Is that what yeah. Let's say you've got $8,000 and you want to invest it in an account that gives you continuously compounded interest, and you want to find out how much you have after 12 years. Okay, after 12 years, you're wondering how much money you'll have with continuously compounded interest compounded, and we'll say that our interest rate here, running out of space, our interest rate is 3%. We'll do, okay? 3% is our interest rate, okay? So how do we find how much money we would have after 12 years with continuously compounding interest at a rate of 3%, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to use our happy little formula, A equals P e to the RT. It's such a purty formula. Okay, so there's our formula, right? And essentially all we have to do here is plug in the values, okay? So the amount, the total amount that we have is what we're trying to find. our initial starting amount is $8,000. So that's what P is. We plug that in. And then E, that's the number E, right? We don't plug anything in for it. The R in this is the interest rate, which is 3%. Now you should convert these to decimals before you use them. So 3%, that's 3. You need to move, right now the decimal sitting right there, you need to move it over 2 spots, right, to get it to be a decimal. So it would be 0.03 would be the interest rate as a decimal, and then times 12 up there because we're doing 12 years, okay? So we just plug those things into our formula, and this expression here, this is going to give us how much money we have, okay? I would throw that in the calculator. So what I would do that 0.03 times 12 first, and we get 0.036. We're going to raise that as the power of E, and then times that by 8,000. So what I get is 11466. Okay, so about $11,000. Okay, and I guess you could do 0.64. Okay, if you wanted to be really technical, that would be how much money you had. Okay, so that's how much money you would have with this interest rate with continuously compounded interest. Okay. Now the one on the homework has you do this for continuously compounded interest. It also has you do some interest that's not continuously compounded, right? Where it's compounded so many times a year, and that's when you need to use this formula instead, right? The one where it has this N in it. So that's where you would use that formula, okay? So I think that's it for Online Wednesday. Hopefully this was a short, pretty easy one. And I will see you guys next time in class. Have a good one, stay safe, do something fun, and I'll see you next time.